You're an artist. Maybe you're even a good artist. But in order to become a professional artist, that is to say someone who works on their art full time, it's their career, that's how they make their money, you can't just be good. You have to be really good, or you have to be great. But what if you're putting in the effort, yet the results still just aren't coming? So I've been basically working part-time as a professional artist for the last 2 decades. I'm on a journey to go full-time. And I'm facing this quandary myself, like I'm putting in the effort, but I'm not good enough. And sometimes it can feel quite difficult just to deal with that. You're sort of looking around at other people, and maybe you see people far younger than you who are succeeding. They have better artwork. The standard, the quality is better. And you think, well, how is that possible? You're like 13 years old. I know there's no way that you could have been drawing and painting and all that kind of stuff longer than I have. You just haven't had enough time on this earth to be that good. So why is it that you're phenomenal at this at that age, whereas I'm still in the good category and I haven't quite got to that really good category, within the top percentage of sort of artists where I can finally start making a good living out of all this stuff. But something I've noticed in life is that it just isn't how you expect. You kind of feel as though if you put in 10 reps, you'll get 10 reps worth of reward back. But it doesn't work like that. Sticking to the gym analogy, there was a guy I used to know, went to the gym, a young guy. He had recently just lost his job and he decided that he would use his time to go to the gym pretty much every day. And he was a pretty overweight guy. And within the space of about 3 months, this guy got ripped. He got jacked. He got really big, lost a load of weight, put on a load of muscle. He was walking around with a good physique, a physique where, young kids would come up to him and say, oh, how did you get that? How did you do that? What's your plan? What's your diet? And don't get me wrong, this guy put in the effort. He put in the reps. But at the same time, I knew about this guy because he went to the gym that I went to. And I would see him down there all the time because I was also going to the gym pretty much every day, maybe 5 days a week at the time. And I had been doing that for about 4-5 years. And it was difficult in a way to deal with just seeing this guy who hadn't put in the years like I'd put in, but he was already like 3 times bigger than me. And me growing up being the skinny kid, the tall, lanky, skinny kid, I always wanted to be able to put on a bit of muscle so that I basically was fitter, stronger, was just generally in better shape, looked more attractive, that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, I did at the time manage to put on some muscle, but it took me 4 or 5 years to achieve the same result that someone else had within 3 months. And no one was ever looking at me and asking me, oh, how do you do it? How do you get to where you're getting? And it kind of just feels unfair. It feels like, not that I wanted the admiration of others, but it just felt like, life was unfair and it was quite difficult to deal with. I was having to climb a mountain, whereas other people, they just have to climb a hill. And at the end of the day, we have the same result, or perhaps they have an even better result. And you just think, life isn't fair. What's going on here? But I think there's something to be learned there, because I think sometimes you can just beat yourself up. You can think that you're just not a good person because you're not working hard enough. You're not doing the right things. You're too dumb to figure it out. But perhaps you're not. Perhaps you are doing what needs doing, but for some weird cosmic reason within the universe, it's just not working out for you. And meanwhile, you're just beating yourself up, feeling like you're inadequate, that there's something that you're not doing right, and you're trying to figure it out and you're stressing about it, but perhaps you shouldn't be. Perhaps at the end of the day, you need to give yourself a break. And there'll be a scenario in the future where, because you've tried to climb a mountain to get to where you've got, maybe, you're now an experienced mountain climber, that could actually serve you in the future. You might be in a position where, compared to those that kind of had it easy to get the things that they worked for, they're only used to hills. When they come across something in life, a mountain, something that they're not naturally adept or able to achieve easily, they're going to be completely out of their depth. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to have a breakdown or a panic attack because this is the first time that they've faced an actual adversity. Whereas you're going to be more prepared for it because you know what it's like. You've been in the trenches long enough to understand how this game of life works. and hopefully that will serve you. So really, this whole message is just basically to say that if you are someone that struggles with your artwork, if it seems to be taking you longer than everyone else, try not to beat yourself up about it, because you can only improve at your own rate. If you're anything like me, you're just very slow on the uptake. You're a slow learner, and it doesn't mean that you're not trying hard. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to give yourself credit. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't take some pride for your efforts. You know, if you are finding it difficult and you're carrying on regardless, I think you should actually pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself for that. So, okay, that's just the message of today. Just to, if you are like that, you know, give yourself a break and keep going, don't give up, and create good art.